Alright, we're going to go ahead and start game one here between ItsATrap and Lostin, so between Andrew and Lenny. This map's going to be Tal'Darim Altars. I think this is the first map for the week. It might have been Shakura, so I might have it backwards, but that's alright. I mean, it's just a friendly StarCraft league, so we don't need perfect rules. This is a pretty big map, though it's actually not Zerg favored, simply because the terrain is really hard for Zerg to traverse. Terran can do some really stupid gay stuff on here, and I'm sure Colossus can do some really gay stuff, or Blink Stalkers can do some gay stuff for the Protoss, so we're going to see if this game even lasts that long or anything. So spawning down here in the 5 o'clock position, we have our pink Zerg Lostin. And spawning up here in our 11 o'clock position, we have our yellow Protoss player, ItsATrap. So these players are pretty evenly ranked, I would think. I'm actually want to see who does well this game to see who's a better player. So this is going to affect the seeds depending on who wins this game. I'm going to go ahead and put this food menu on. I know that'll be really helpful. We're looking at lower definition, so we have been going for a 9 pylon and early scout, so that's fine. Well, not even early scout. I mean, 9 scout's pretty normal. Huff does that. Go ahead and work the production tab. Same stuff on both sides. So I want to see if Lostin opts to go for an early hatchery, or if he goes for the 14 spawning pool, 15 extractor, you know, so on and so forth, the normal Zerg build. It's a little ahead on the food count right now, but it's Zerg, so that happens. You can morph in multiple units at once. He's going to go ahead, he's going to throw his gateway down right here at 13. Yeah, right after he chrono boosts that out. Still a little bit early, not that early. He's putting his buildings in front, which is going to be really good if Lostin decides to do a Baneling bust, because pylons are really easy to bust, only 400 health, but these have 1000 health, so a lot of Banelings aren't going to bust a gateway or a cybernetic score. It looks like we are going to see our Zerg player go for a 15 hatch play, so he's gone for the early hatchery, so we're going to see if our Protoss player decides to try and punish this or not. It's a pretty large map, they're in far positions, so it might be easier just to opt for an Expo himself into, you know, he could have easily placed his buildings right here, and then Expo'd himself and gone into a Forge Expo into 6 gate push or into 7 or 8 gate push. Those are usually pretty efficient. That's what I really hate as a Zerg player, because I'll see that Expo, I'll take my fast third, and then they come with this really strong timing push, and it just crushes me all the time. Food is still relatively even. Looks like Lostin is opting to take the gas, which is okay against the Protoss. I'm not one for gas stealing. Well, he wasn't even gonna let it finish. He's just gonna keep doing it for a scout and delay. It'll delay sentries, stalkers, that robotech path. That's about it. So we do have our spawning pool down, we do have our extractor down, so he's going to be maybe ahead, starting to pull ahead on this economics if Trap doesn't, you know, choose to stay on equal basis, because looks like Trap is going for a 3 gate. I'm going to have to say this is the pretty standard 3 gate blink into Expo. And 3 gate blink is going to be pretty efficient at slowing down and hurting and stopping a Zerg player. It's pretty standard opening against Zerg right now. So I'm going to go ahead and look at the units tab. We see similar dronage, so no one's ahead really on the drones. Look at the army tab. No one again is really that far ahead. No, you're not going to see anything here. He's starting down that Roach Warren, which is going to keep him safe from Zealots, but I'm pretty sure we're going to see this go into, yeah, mostly Stalkers, and we're going to see him throw down a Cybernetics Core eventually. He should have his Zealot be killing that off. He might use his Sentry. He might be afraid of that. It's a terrible placement for a Proxy Pylon. You can almost always just put it over here at the third, though he has his Overlord here, but you could easily sink back, put one over here. So that was a waste of 100 minerals, 150 minerals. You have 500 minerals Lostin build up. You only have 25. So if you're not producing an Overlord, you really need to be on that Overlord production. You're at 200 minerals build up. So Andrew's doing a little bit better on the money right now. Andrew hasn't killed this extractor yet, which, come on now. If we go back to the units tab, 22 workers to 20, so the Zerg's pulling just a little bit ahead, not very much. Look, you're not under attack at all. You are going to expo. You're not, I was to say, you're not even under threat of being attacked. You may as well kill this extractor, but whatever. You're throwing down 3 spine crawlers without even having scouted any aggression. You're really more active with these scouts. See what you do. This is they're going to scout here. You know, do you scout any pressure? Well, when you scout his X, ooh, he went ahead and threw down that 4 gate, so he's delaying his own expo a little bit. Let's look at the units again. The Zerg player pulling a little bit ahead on the. Well, he's pulling pretty far ahead actually on the drones tab. He hasn't actually gone for a. You could easily warp in the layer right now. You have the money for it. That would allow you to tech into Mutaplay. Mutaplay is not going to be great against Blink Stalkers, but. So it looks like he is going to try and lay another proxy and 4-gate push you instead of 3-gate Blink. Whatever. I don't see how this works. With all those spine crawlers, it's really not going to be that effective unless he can just walk around the spine crawlers. He's going to go ahead and lose this probe to these spine crawlers, so he's not going to be able to lay a proxy. So that's good for the Zerg player. He is taking his expo now, so he's on equal basis. If we look at the units, again, I still had it up. Zerg player's taking a huge lead on the drones, so this is going to be really helpful. He's going to have a lot more income, and he's going to probably be able to just beat the Protoss player with superior income. We have this army. This army is good. It's decent. No sentries, no force fields. Like, force fields really helpful against Zerg, because you don't want the Zergling or Banelings to get near you. Like, you need to make sure we keep pooping on these hatcheries. Decent SimCity, you really don't need this many spine crawlers, but especially when you scouted him. Well, he has a lot more army than you do because you're going really drone heavy right now, so you know that's fine. Take it hand in hand. Now he's warping a couple sentries. Sentries are going to be really useful here. He needs to really work on them probes. He's not getting enough probes. You could really use these roaches or something and go attack these rocks. You're going to want to take your third. Soon. It's at 9 minutes already. Maybe working on these hatcheries, You also want to get some creep tumors down. Notice you have no creep tumors. You want to get some creep spreading going on. Let's see. You are actively getting at least +1. I don't believe he even has a forge yet over here, so he's going to be behind on the upgrades. He's also behind on the food by 15. He's way behind on the drones right now. Way behind. He's going to send another probe across. He's going to lose the 5 minerals that are in his mouth again because he's going to send them directly into this. But he is going to see these roaches moving out. No, he's not. He's not going to see these roaches moving out. These roaches, honestly, aren't going to do... They're not going to be able to beat that and the 4-gate behind it. Yeah, this army, if we look at the armies tab, Yellow's army is well ahead of the Zerg player. So the Zerg player is going to probably want to retreat here. He's going to head throwing down a macro hatchery. That's a good idea. I think like well, you don't need that many macro hatcheries unless you're going straight for only roaches or only wings. That's a lot of macro hatches. 4 hatcheries for 2 bases is a little much. You're not getting any upgrades here. You want to make sure you keep getting these upgrades. You have plenty of minerals to at least grab the carapace. Let's look at production. You don't have any overlords on the way, but you're supply blocks. You want some overlords. You really should have not. One I could see. 1 macro hatchery would be fine, but how about instead of trying to take these macro hatcheries, you just get really good at taking other expansions and defending them? This is so many spine crawlers. Like, what if you came with air? You really don't need this many spine crawlers. There's a ton of spine crawlers. Like, you're throwing away a lot of drones here. Like, you've seen no pressure, and you build 5, 6 spine crawlers. Spine crawlers are good, but that many, and if he starts getting Colossus, which he should, he does have an observer on the way, so he's going to scout all that. He's going to be able to blink him back, and he's also going to be able to use Colossus and walk up this hill over here. So you haven't taken your third yet. If we look back at the units tab, the Protoss player is catching up on the drones because he can try to boost them out, and because you're throwing away some of yours in spine crawlers. You got 43 on 2 bases, which is okay. It's not the best. You really need to be active on pooping this creep. You've got how many? You've got a lot of queens out. You've got 2 queens here, 3 queens here, and you're not doing really good on your creep spreading. On your creep spreading, easiest way to remember creep spread is every time you spawn larva, spread your creep. Even though you're not spawning a lot of larvae, but every time you spawn larva, that's when you should spread your creep tumors a little bit more. So you got these. I don't like your hotkeys at all. These are like really bad. What you want is either all your hatcheries on 4. I use 3, but if you use 4, which I should do, it would allow you 3 hotkeys for your army. Use all your hatcheries. You would want this. You want all 4 of them on 4. We also see he droned up a little bit. We're going to see him, looks like maybe a timing push coming out soon from the Zerg player. So the Mortals are going to do really good. Force fields are going to be really critical in this engagement. After all, the Protoss player doesn't have a Forge or any upgrades yet. Force fields. You really want to use really bad force fields. That was terrible force fields on Trap's part. If we look at the army tab, he's still ahead, but those were some god-awful force fields. You took this third all the way over here when you should have just killed these rocks and taken this third here. As long as he doesn't scout it, you'll be okay. Those were god-awful force fields, Trap. You should feel ashamed of yourself. Okay, like I was saying with hotkeys here, I like to have all of them on 4, all of them on 3, and then have 5, 6, 7, or 4, 5, 6, just like one basis hatchery. So this would be, like for me, this would be all on 4, and the queens would be 4. So I'd have these 2 hatcheries and that queen on 4. And this would be on 5, and this queen would be on 5 for me, and then 6 would be my third base and third queen. So then I can just, you know, 4-4 click, 4-4 V click, 5-5 V click, 6-6 V click, then I can spread my creep tumors, and then I can go back to using micro in my army. I usually put all of my tech structures on 8, or maybe 8 and 9. Like 9 would be spawning pools and roach warrens, whereas like my evolution chambers and things I'm going to be constantly upgrading out of are going to be 8. You did throw down this. I'm gonna go back to the production menu. You did throw down this Spire. He does scout it, so we're gonna see if he's able to beat that. These Zerglings are not gonna. You want Banelings, man. You should really get some Banelings. Banelings do really good against Protoss. You have 3 evolution chambers and you're not using them. So what's the point of getting these if you're not gonna use them? If we go back to you were making a couple mutas. The first player needs to make a lot more probes. He doesn't have anywhere near enough probes. Like 37 probes is very, it's not good. Like, and he's got full chrono boost here. He's playing like, I'm gonna say, Trap, you're not playing very good at all. I don't know if the pressure's getting you or whatever. You've been playing a lot better in our team games lately than this. 800 minerals, no forge yet. 16 minutes into the game, 0-0 upgrades. You did just completely crush this army because of the mismicro. Mutalisks, oh man, the Mutalisks, they're gonna die really fast though, too, Stalkers. So we're gonna see how this goes. You don't want to attack that army. It's a lot of Mutalisks though, 11 Mutalisks out on the field. He's really gonna want to forge for some cannons here. You're just throwing your Mutalisks away here. You're throwing them away. You just lost 4 Mutalisks and most of them are really low health for no reason. Trap, you have you need to make probes, dude. You have 37 probes. This is not very good, dude. That's terrible. These are going to do not very good versus Colossus, though. This Colossus went down. You snipe this Colossus. They're going to do very good against Stalkers, so this might crush his army right here. He doesn't have this +1 on these Zealots to kill those things in 2 hits, so still didn't make that large of a difference. You need to really quit. You need to stop just attacking. You have all these spine crawlers here. Why don't you just have your Zerglings wait here, wait for him to engage the spine crawlers, and then surround him when he's in range of the spine crawlers? That would have been the best way to do this. Would have been a lot more efficient than the way you're doing it. You're finally getting 39 probes up, so that's good. He's getting out 2 Colossus, which is it's gonna be really deadly. He's got this 3rd base up. He needs to keep making units. Full chrono boost, no forge, 0 upgrades, going for more gateways before it gets forged. Like, ugh. But these Zerglings aren't going to do very well against Colossus at all. You have 50 drones, which you need more, but you need to be focusing on army now because he is going pretty aggressive heavy. And these Banelings, man, Banelings would be really good. But yeah, what you want to do is you want to pull them back. You have so many spine crawlers here. You could, if you spread creep more, you could even have moved your spine crawlers up down here, and then you could have, you know, came in here and surrounded them. You really want to surround, yeah, here you go. You want to fight in range of these spine crawlers. He hasn't scouted your 3rd base yet, so you're perfectly fine there with that. I mean, it's almost a Ninja Expo. But here's, yeah, what I'm just going to say. Here's what he's going to do. He's going to totally avoid the spine